Hi guys, and welcome to AI menu tutorials. In today's tutorial we'll go through the point of sale operation, how you take payments, how you edit orders. We'll go through the takeaway side of things and also look at some vouchers and how to do bar tabs. Right, so let's start. What you see on the left hand side is a list of tables, and I've said before in another tutorial that our screen is very different to most other point of sale screens. It shows on the left hand side, it shows the list of tables. The ordering is actually done from the tablets, or most of it. You can actually do ordering from the main point of sale screen, but it's easier, and the whole idea is that you use the tablets. The customer basically does most of the job for you. So you just basically get the orders showing up on this virtual docket board here, and then you can then send them to the kitchen. So let's start through. There's a number of tables that I've actually created beforehand. Let's just go select table number 6. On the left hand side we have just the various items that are ordered. We've got a corkage that I've added, any discounts you give, the total amount. These buttons here, there's a button print summary. That is fairly straightforward. It just prints a summary, shows everything that's been ordered, also groups it by name if names have been set up so that people can see what has been ordered and under what name. Then you've got buttons which are fire entrees, fire mains, desserts and drinks. So let's say that there's a big order, big table that's ordering, and you don't want to send everything through to the kitchen, you just want to send the entrees, then you can do that from this screen here. At the moment there's nothing actually waiting, everything's been sent through, so all the buttons are disabled. At the moment also I have the desserts and drinks set to automatically print, so only the mains and entrees will stay on the system until you send them to print. The desserts and drinks will print automatically. We'd recommend having at least the drinks printing automatically, so that you can get those drinks out to the table as fast as you can. Also obviously increases your sales. Now there's an option to call table, because there's a tablet on the table that has been used to create those orders. Very easy to just call it if you want the customer to come to you for usually to pick up an order if you run a bistro style restaurant. Then you've got the edit table, and that's probably the more important things for editing for the waiters. If you go edit table, changes everything to a checkbox form, so you can simply select the item you want to change. Let's go delete items. You can delete both if you wanted to. Let's say I just want to delete that. You can't delete from the tablet. We disallow that, well, from normal mode. You can delete from staff mode, but not from normal mode. You can imagine if a customer's ordering stuff, it's been printed, it's been made, and then they say, oh, actually, I want to get rid of it. Well, you can't. You have to ask the waiter if they are okay to get rid of it. Let's say they call waiter and they say, hey, accidentally ordered the barbecue, don't actually want it. Can you please remove it? No problem at all. You go delete items. Shows you that it's actually been printed. You need the code to identify who you are. Select a reason. There's just a number of set reasons, and that's done. So table number 6 has now only got one item because we removed that previous item. Let's say you want to change the price of an item for whatever reason. Let's say they have some kind of a voucher, or you just want to discount it, or you want to increase it in price. If you add something to it, whatever the reason might be, once again you go edit table, you select the item, you go edit item price, put in your PIN code, current price is $30, enter the new price. Let's say it's $35. Whatever reason, you can put in a custom reason, say extra sour cream if you wanted to. There you go. You select, and if you go there, you will see that the item price has now been changed. Head count. Some restaurants do it, some don't. It's completely up to you. You can set it that you have to enter it in so that you don't forget. You can always leave it as optional. What you do get is just history and statistics. You can get your average spend per head, quite useful. You know how many people went through your restaurant. You can then log your trends, all sorts of things you can do. So if I say set head count to 3 people or whatever it might be, it now shows 3 people right here. You can also add corkage and cakeage. Now the difference between corkage and cakeage, apart from the obvious, is that corkage is usually added to per person, whereas cakeage is done per table or per cake, depending on how you look at it. So with corkage, you can split a bill afterwards, and you can actually split the corkages as well, whereas with cakeage you can't, because the cakeage is done on the actual table. Table number. Change table number. Let's say they were sitting on table number 6 and you want to change it to table number 7. You go change table number, put the new table number, easy. Now something to note is that, now that's changed now, if you had tablet menus on that previous table, don't forget to swap them over to the new table number. It's really quick. Just press and hold, change the table number. It doesn't do it automatically, and that's deliberately because you may have already set up new tablets for that table. You may want to leave those for a different table, so there's too many ways you can actually, it won't do it the right way, so we leave that as a manual thing, but it's very quick to do. Just don't forget to change them, because otherwise any new orders that they send from those tablets will still be sent to the previous table number. Right, so we've gone through everything here. The button that you'll be pressing most of the time will actually be finalize table. So finalize table, table number 7, amount outstanding. So this is the point of sale screen, I call. There's if we're going to go through the buttons from top to bottom, void table. It's logical what it does. Press on it. This will delete the table. Proceed. Yes. You have to record who it was. I'm not going to do it, but you can imagine what happens. Just gets deleted, but it does get recorded in a different place. So even if you do void a table, you can always see what tables have been voided. You can actually record all those details. It doesn't get lost. So you can see if anyone's been voiding orders who wasn't supposed to. And you can actually know who it was, because you have to put a PIN code in. You've got discounts by percentage and discounts by amount. Once again, it's fairly self-explanatory. If you go discount, it does ask for a PIN code to record who it was, and a percent discount. And you can also have set discounts, which automatically populate the percentage. So there's, for example, a staff discount here. You just press it, automatically shows that there's 20%. Go OK, and that's now updated your amount outstanding. Now, moving further down, you've got your payment buttons. You'll note that the FPOS button is actually disabled. You can enable it. So some restaurants, they like to keep a tab on the way the FPOS machine is selected, if it's credit or savings account, because you do have a slightly different rate charged by your provider. Some don't, so you just have a cash or card. It's completely up to you. It is simpler to use cash or card. So if you select cash, you then enter in how much cash you are given. Say you were given $50. You can just say exact cash, and then it'll just change it to what was currently given. Restart. So say $50. You go add payment, and that will calculate the change, open up your till, print an invoice if you set it to, and once you go OK, it will settle that table. That table is now removed from this list. You've got a checkbox which you can select that will show the settled tables, and there it is. Table 7 has now been settled, and you can reprint the invoice if you want to. You can restore the table if you want to do a refund. but that will wipe the payment information. So you obviously need a manager's PIN code for that. Right, let's go to a different table and go through a few more features. The two things I really want to go through in detail today are the payment by parts and the split bills. So they are actually two options or two features that do similar things, but in a very different way. Part payments, let's take an example. Somebody comes up and says, hey, I want to pay $20 by cash and the rest on card. That is a typical part payment. So the invoice still stays exactly the same, but they just want to pay by a few parts. There's an unlimited amount of parts that you can pay. So you can actually have a table and they just say, we want to pay just equal amounts. That's possible as well. And then they can just pay however they like. With split bills, you can actually grab the bill, the invoice for that table, and move items onto a split. You can do it infinitely number of times, as many as items you have on your bill. You can do it one by one if you wanted to, but that is a really powerful feature, because if you have a large table, you can set that the customer will, as they order, they will add their name to each order. So if you press on split bills, it will show you not only everything that they had, but also the name of the person that they had. And then all you do is select the item that you want, move it over to be paid, and then just pay straight through. It is a super efficient way. Saves a lot of time when you're actually got a huge group and they're just waiting to get out. They had their food, they had their drink, and you just want to make sure that everything is processed efficiently, quickly, and painlessly. Well, this just means it's so much easier. There's no more asking who had what. It's everything is there, and the customer entered the data. So if they wrong, well, they're the ones that actually put it in. Right, so let's just do two examples. We'll do first pay by parts. So let's go table number 14. This is the pay by part user interface. You've got the invoice total on here, how much you've paid and how much is outstanding. So new payment amount, let's say that you have this hypothetical situation where they give you $20, you just want to pay that by cash. So you can just go plus $20 and that will give you $20, or you can restart and just enter $20. And then you just press cash and add payment. That'll bring up a calculator. They just give you exact $20. Great, there's no change. You'll notice that the amount outstanding has now changed by $20 down, and if you go part payments again, you will see that the total invoice hasn't changed, it's $57, but there is an amount paid, which is the $20, and the amount outstanding is $37. And let's say that person then says the rest will go on card. You press card, add payment, and that's done. Now, one thing I haven't gone through is if you have integration. We do provide integration with PC POS and Tyro. If you have integration set up, if you press card, it will activate that integration, so the amount will pop up directly on your POS machine. The customer then just taps or inserts. It is a very quick, you eliminate any mistakes completely. I do recommend Tyro. They're a fantastic company, really easy to deal with. Their rates are very comparable with bank rates, but they just got so much more reporting that you can get. The invoicing is done at the end of the month. You get the full amounts. So it's I do recommend Tyro very highly. Right, so we've done that. Let's just go and add the second part payment. So we just go remainder, which is however has been left over. We go pay by card. We go add payment. That's now been recorded. The amount outstanding is 0, which is shown here. You just go settle table, and that is now done. It will record that you've paid by parts, so it will reflect on the cash totals, it will reflect on the card totals. At the end of the night, you can print out a summary and then compare that summary to your FPOS machine summary for your cards, and of course your cash float to how much cash difference you're supposed to get. So all of that is recorded and accounted for correctly. Now moving on next, split bills. There's table number 8, which I deliberately created with names. So if I just go split bills here, you will see that there's just a few things that have been ordered, and there's names that are recorded for that particular table. So it is as literally as easy as asking, what is the name of the person in front of you? Hi, I'm John. I'd like to pay for everything for John. You select any one of these items that John had, and you press this magic button, move all. And it just grabs everything that John had, moves it to be paid. You go pay. It shows you the total. You can print an invoice that is specifically for those 3 things. So it's a completely separate table. Table number 8, another one that it creates in the system. You can provide a discount if you wanted to for that particular part payment or that particular split bill. Once, let's say, he pays by card, that's done. So the rest is only $50. And if we actually exit out, we go back in, you can see that only those items are left, and you can split bill and you can see that only those items are there. Very, very useful and powerful feature. So if you wanted to go through and add more, you can press these up, down, or move across as you like, or you can just go and just go everything for Anna. For argument's sake, press pay, say Anna pays by cash, she gives you $50, add payment, change 21, and then the rest is the $21. And you can see that there's only orders for Vlad remaining. You can split as many times as you like, and you can split and leave the table open. Now that is really powerful as well. You say you have a really big table, people are coming and going all the time. You don't want to settle the table at the end, you want to settle it as people are leaving. So people will come up, they just want to pay for what they had, not a problem at all. You just pay for whatever you put it as your name in your tablet, and off you go. The table remains there until it's completely settled. So there's just 2 items there. I'll finalize the table now. I'll just pay by card, and that's gone. That's basically it. So it's designed to be fairly straightforward, fairly simple to use, but also user-friendly. It is designed from waiter feedback and from restaurant feedback to try to make a system that is really user-friendly and easy to use. Right, I think we've gone through everything for dining sales. So quick order. Why do we need quick order? Well, I'm just going to click on here. That is a typical point of sale screen. The reason you might need a point of sale screen is, let's say somebody just yells across the room, hey, can you put an extra guacamole on my table? Well, instead of grabbing a menu and putting it in, you can always really quickly just go to the quick order. Let's just go to something that they want. Let's say they want oysters, half a dozen, and you just add it to a table. Oh, sorry, that's enter the quantity. Just do that again. Enter the quantity, and then there's this button, add to dining. So you add to dining, enter the table number 3, and that is the same thing as actually sending the order through from a tablet. It just sends it through because it's a food item. It doesn't print straight away as we've selected. I press anywhere on here, and it's sent that through to the kitchen, and that's now recorded as being printed. The point of sale screen really has nothing special to it. On the top you've got your tabs, so you cycle through the tabs to look at different items. You can assign colors to all of them, so you can have your beers as one color, your food as another color. It's completely up to you. It's completely customizable. Your individual items can also be completely colorful, so you can have you can have your whiskeys in one color, your vodkas in a different color. Everything is customizable that way. Look, it's basically the same as any other point of sale screen that you see. You put items in there. There's pop-ups of the options that you've selected. Quantity, that is optional. If you don't like having to enter quantity every time, you don't have to have it there. At the moment, I've just got set it up so that it does. Yeah, so that's there. Now, going through these buttons, you've got add to takeaway. You can, if you press that, there's just a name and pickup time dialog box that comes up. Let's have a takeaway for Fred. The phone number is whatever it is. Pickup time, you can cycle through. And you can also have any special instructions. So let's say gluten-free, for example. Place order, and that's now printed and sent through the kitchen to the kitchen. Now note that I did that through quick orders. I can do the same thing from the takeaway screen, but at the moment I've got mirroring set up, so the takeaway menu is the same as the dining menu. So if that is the same, you can order takeaway from here. It can be a completely different menu if you wanted to, in which case you would just go through the takeaway section to do that. Moving on to other buttons, you've got the miscellaneous button sale. So that is for something that you don't have on your menu. Let's say somebody just asks you for an extra sour cream or something, and you just want to say, yep, not a problem, but you want to account for it. So you just put in item description, you set the price, you set the type so that it records in history, and you can set it whether you want it to print or not print. So let's say that it's going to be extra sour cream. The price is $2, whatever it might be. You mark it as a mains. You don't want it to print because you know what it is. You just go OK, quantity 1, and let's just go add to table number 3. So note that it didn't actually pop up here because we didn't select the printing, but it is under miscellaneous, just an extra sour cream item that we've just created. Moving on the bottom here, you've got quick pay and no print buttons. That is designed for bars. So for bars, you don't want to print. They just come up, order over the counter. I'll have a beer, great, no problem. Just pay by card, done. That's it. Now, if you have integration with PC EFTPOS or Tyro, it will pop up on the screen. They will tap their card, and everything will be recorded in just a couple of clicks. If you wanted to go cash, so let's say they want to order that, you go cash, just brings up the cash calculator. They give you $20 note. It shows you change $8. Okay, and that's been recorded. So it's designed for a really quick bar style operation with as minimal number of clicks. Moving on to the left hand side here, we've got buttons to edit an order. So let's say we add a few items. Add this, add that. Combo with sausages, add that. Want a bread roll, onion and sauerkraut. Shows you all your options on here. You click on any item you want to change. Add comment is fairly self-explanatory. I don't know. Cheese, please. Comes up on here as a note. If you want to change a price, edit item price. Let's say price is now $12. Reason, extra cheese. Okay, so that's now changed the price. All of that gets recorded in the history, of course, why the change has happened. If you wanted to have an add-on on top, so let's say you go add-ons, now you select which add-ons you want to show. Select extra large, continue, and that just adds that and adds it to the price. So that's just different things. If you wanted to remove something, let's say you actually don't want that anymore, you select it, you go remove. Now, of course, you can remove without any issue because you haven't paid for it yet, you haven't sent it to the kitchen, so you're creating an order as you're going through. So once you've created an order, as I say, you can go add to dining. That adds it to the dining list. You can move it to the takeaway to be paid later, or the option is to print and pay straight away. So that is designed more for over-the-counter style orders, running in combination with the menus. Print and pay will ask you whether you just want to mark it as dining or takeaway, just like a cafe would. Or you can just put a comment in there. It's just basically a text box where you can put text in. But if you press mark as takeaway, hi, what's your name? My name is Fred. Yep, great. Just mark it as a takeaway. Go submit and pay straight away. So that's the difference. With dining, you pay at the end, and with takeaway, you pay at the end once they collect. With quick order, print and pay, you pay straight away. So I'm just going to go card. Yep, great. Everything's done. Sent to the kitchens. And if you go quick order and you go past orders, you'll actually see various orders, and you can see that that order is there. You can reprint the invoice if you want to. Right. Moving on to takeaway. So if you press on takeaway, you can do takeaway from the tablets, and it's just as easy to use. If you do want to do it from the point of sale screen, you can do it as well. Just go takeaway, new order. You've got your menu here. If you've got a separate takeaway menu, it'll show that menu. If you've got mirroring on, it'll show the same as your dining. So it's completely up to you how you want to set that up. The colors also are available on here. Simply select just the same way you would in the other one, and then place an order once you're ready. Name, phone, pickup time, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you go return, go into there again, your current orders are on the left-hand side here, so you can scroll through those and actually see all the details of your current outstanding orders. So those are for your phone orders or your delivery orders. You've got all the details on here, and you can do two things. Once an order's actually been sent, you can edit the order, so you can add items onto it, or you can remove items. Say somebody calls you up and says, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't want the two of those Bavarian Leberkäse. I only want one. You can just go edit order. You can select and you can remove an item. It does record who does it. Shows the item's been printed. Are you sure? Remember to tell the kitchen to remove the cancelled meal. Yes, yes, thank you. Reason, whatever reason, you can select the reasons, and now it's removed. You can also add items. So you say, actually, can I add a curry? I'm going to add a korma, beef, mild. There it is. So place order. This will print the new orders. Proceed. Yes, so now that's actually sent to the kitchen, just the additional orders, and that has been updated in the orders here. Now, let's say a customer comes up and they actually want to pay. There's the order. You go finalize, and it brings up the same point of sale screen that you've seen before. Discounts, void print, cash or card, part payments. You will note that the split bills option is disabled. That is specifically because there's no split bills in takeaways, but you can still pay by card or pay by parts. So they can go, I want to pay this much in cash and this much on card, and that is perfectly acceptable. There are a few buttons which are just a fractions. That's basically just a fancy calculator. So let's say there's two people and they want to split it half and half. So you just go press on the half button, calculates the outstanding amount by 2 or on 2. Go by card, add payment. Outstanding is that because we've paid that. We've got the invoice total as the full total. Half of it's been paid, half of it's outstanding. The other person pays by cash. Add payment. You get a $100 note. Sorry. You select how much you want to pay. You go cash. New payment. You remainder. Go cash. There we go. Amount outstanding is $57. You get a $100 note. Okay. Change is $42.80. Okay. And you'll notice that the amount outstanding is now 0, and you can settle the order. That's done. Takeaway is recorded. Once again, you can go in paid orders, and you will see that order is being paid. You can reprint the invoice, and you can restore table if you wanted to. Swap back to active orders. Return. So that's basically it for takeaway. Once again, it's designed to be fairly straightforward, fairly simple. There's two more things I wanted to cover in the point of sale operation. One is the bar tabs. So many restaurants or pubs or clubs, they have some kind of a bar tab system. So you have a party, people come, they say, look, I'm paying for everyone. Great, not a problem. What you do is go to administration, and there's an option to set a bar tab. So you just set it up. Basically, the way it operates is you create a table. Now that table number can be generic. Let's say it's 999. Beg your pardon? You select the bar tab limit. Let's say it's $1,000. And you can actually enter the name of the party or the event. So let's say it's Monica's birthday. And you can also select the tab color. Now what that is, some people, and I really love this idea by the way, you have wristbands of different colors. And so you can actually run a couple of parties at the same time. You can have a red party and a blue party. And so when people come up to the bar to order, they just show their wristband. And you see the blue wristband, great, not a problem. You select the blue party, and the bartender doesn't even need to think about what the name of that party is or who they're with or whatever. So you just go tab color blue, text color white, for example. You can change it as you like. Go proceed. What you'll notice is that a table has been created, but no items are on that table. It's completely blank, but it does show bar tab Monica's birthday. Table 999. Now how this operates is somebody comes up to the bar, you go quick order, they want a beer, they want this, quantity 1. Now you'll note that this button has now been activated. If you press on it, it brings up all your existing bar tabs at this moment. So at the moment we've only got one. $0 has been used, so it keeps an eye out how much has actually been used, and if it's over the limit it will show you and it'll tell you. Simply press on that, and that's it. That has been recorded. You will notice that table 999 now has one item, and it has recorded that as being purchased and added to that particular table. At the end of the day or at the end of the night, they come up, pay for that table just like they would any other table. Now, if you do integrate with Tyro, they have a very cool system called bar tabs, believe it or not. And what that allows you to do is to pre-authorize a credit card to a particular amount, and you will never have to see that credit card again. The system records that pre-authorization code, it records the credit card, and so when everyone's had a great time, they've ate, they've drank, they've left, you don't need to find whoever's responsible for that night. No one's run away, no one's chasing after everyone, everything is in your system. You just pay off the table like you would normally, and it remembers that there's that pre-authorization account or code in there, and it just takes the money off the credit card, puts it into your account, and settles the table. Very, very useful. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today was the voucher system. So we do have an inbuilt voucher system in AI menu. The way you set up a voucher is you go to administration, you sell voucher, put in the PIN code, so it records who did it. So that's the voucher manager interface. You can just go normal sequential table number, or you can add it to a name. So let's say somebody comes up, a regular of your restaurant, and they give you $100 and they say, look, can you just put it on my tab, and then I will just order from that over the next couple of weeks as I come through. So that can be done. You just prepay. You go and add however much money you want to that voucher. So 100 just gives you 100, 50 gives you 50, or you can go and new voucher 25 if you wanted to, a custom amount. So let's say this person wants $100. They give you cash. You go save and print. Add $100 to voucher ID number 3. Let's just not do that. Untick the next number and actually add a name to that. So let's say John Smith is the ID of that particular voucher. So we go cash, save, add $100 to ID John Smith, yes. And that's now just going to print 3 dockets. One is the tax invoice, and one is the voucher record for the customer, and one is the voucher record for the restaurant. Now what you'll notice on the tax invoice is that the GST is 0, because what you're actually doing with selling a voucher, you're not actually selling product, you are exchanging currency. So you've created an in-house currency type, which is a voucher, and you are exchanging that for actual currency, cash. So nothing has actually been sold, you have just you have exchanged currency types. So, but there is a tax invoice for that because you have actually paid for it, but there's no GST on it. Now you can see that in the voucher management system, we have now a recorded voucher for John Smith of $100. You can reprint the voucher if you want. While I'm on the voucher management side, there is an option to discount a new voucher. That is quite useful if your restaurant is running competitions or lotteries. So you just want to give away a voucher for a certain amount, but obviously you're actually not getting money for it, you're just giving it away. So in that case, you would discount it by 100%. You can discount by any amount you want. So let's say you're raffling off a $50 voucher. So I'm just going to select $50 here. I'm going to go discount that by $50. Reason, it's a lottery. Go OK. And it's recording that $50 voucher, voucher number 3, discount minus $50, save and print. You can select the payment type. Even though there isn't a payment, it still has to select. Save and print, add $50 to voucher ID number 3, yes, great, and that's done, print it through. So let's say that now this person has come back and they actually want to use that voucher to pay. You can. You go to a table, any table, finalize table. You'll notice that there's no voucher option here because this is designed to be very simple to use. If you want anything more fancy, you go into part payments, and in there you do have a paid online option as well as a voucher option. So paid online is if you want to record something as being paid, say Uber Eats or something over the internet, you can. Or a Groupon voucher, people usually would mark that as paid online. Or in this case, what we're going through is the voucher. So let's say that they want to pay the full amount on that voucher. So we're just going to go remainder. This is how much we want to pay. We go voucher, we enter our PIN code, and we will have the full list of vouchers come up. In this case, we have these following vouchers. Obviously, it's John Smith that comes up. He wants to pay from that voucher. Continue, add payment. This will withdraw $62.90, the full amount from voucher John Smith. Amount remaining on the voucher will be $37.10. Proceed, yes, great. So that's now recorded. Amount outstanding is 0. Settle table. That voucher has now been used, and it has been recorded as being paid from that voucher. And now there is a tax invoice on that table, and there is a GST element because you have actually purchased a product for a in-house currency. If you go to administration and sell voucher, and we just log in, you will see that the current voucher for John Smith is now $37.10 because you've used that amount from the voucher. It still records that the voucher is still there until you've used it completely, and once you've used it completely, it disappears off the list, so you don't have a cluttered list with all old vouchers. If you do have a really old voucher that no one's ever using and you want to void it, you can. There's just a button there. And you can reprint a voucher if you just want to, someone comes up and says, hey, can you just tell me how much I have on my voucher? That is the reprint option there. Righto, I think that's just about it. We've gone through the dining point of sale elements, how to change different add items onto the dining tables, remove items, change pricing, discounting, paying by parts, by splitting the bill, changing various things, obviously the takeaway as well, and then just going through the vouchers and the bar tabs. So that just covers all the features of the point of sale elements of AI menu systems. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.